Welcome back to another episode of our Wednesday Icon Talk. This is yours truly, His Excellency the Car, and I have our outstanding workers that we're going to get into. But first, let's do our Wednesday Icon Talk. It's going to be a special edition featuring our May 2021 Empower You Conference and Masterclass 3, which was Afro-American Actionnaire History. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Alrighty, everyone. So this is our masterclass number 3, Afro-Americans Actionnaires History. We have some wonderful speakers who will be speaking today. So I'm your moderator as well as your masterclass teacher, and I'll be more so facilitating and listening to our subject matter experts, but sharing a little bit of my insight as we go along. I do want to now go through each and every one of our panelists. Queen Mother Dr. Delois Blakely. Next, we have Dean Reverend Dr. Leo Pickett, Dean Imam Dr. Salahuddin Mohammed. We have, last but certainly not least, Assistant Dean Imam Dr. Alhaj Talib Abdul Rashid Chaplain. So you can see who we have with us during this panel. And, just as a foundation, our quick story I want to share with you is that when I was co-moderating the Florida International Trade and Cultural Expo, where we had representatives and delegates from South Africa, from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Kenya, from the Democratic Republic of Congo, from the Gambia, and more, I remember one of the first things that the representative said to me was, instead of going into the different industries that their country had, we need to start with the basics. Where is the country located? So we're going to start with the very basics here in terms of the foundation. And my first question for our panel is, why is it important to know our history? And what are the contributions that African Americans have had on this country and this world? I'm going to first ask if Assistant Dean Imam Dr. Abdul Rashid can answer that first question for us. Thank you.
Yes. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. Peace be unto you all. Assalamu alaikum, mima. So, in, I think it was 2002 or 2003, I was in Cairo, Egypt. And I decided I wanted to purchase some perfumed oil. So I went into a store and I'm looking around, and on a lower shelf, I noticed, and I kid you not, some papyrus scrolls. So out of curiosity, I picked one of them up and I rolled it out, and it had an illustration from the pyramids reproduced on this papyrus scroll, and the words, before there was any history, there was Black history. Okay, I actually still have the scroll. If I could figure out how to screen share it, I would. So that's the importance. The history of our people is the history of humanity. All anthropological, historical evidence points to the Garden of Eden in Africa. And so, and of course, we know from our study of geology that at one time, there was only one continent, one giant continent called Pangea that later, broke up. So, a lot of times, people look at us or they think about our history and they think that it's separate from the history of the rest of the human family. It is not. It lies at the root of the human family. And so my first thought in terms of importance is just that.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Imam Dr. Abdul Rashid. And I was writing down some notes that you said. especially as it relates to those scrolls. I remember seeing that as well. And before I, continue on with our next panelist, I just wanted to share that when I was in Cairo, and I remember going to the National Museum, there were tour guides who were actually taking pictures of me, and people were asking to pose with me, and they were saying, "You look just like the hieroglyphics. You look just like the murals." And it really was humbling to see that, especially when you think about how Egypt, when people think of Egyptians now, they don't think of someone who looks like me, but
Right.
that's the reality. So I love that. Before there was any history, there was Black history. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Imam.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. And I would now like to ask Dr. Leo Pickett, if you can answer, why is it important to know our history, and what are the contributions that African Americans have made to the country and also the world?
I think about the quote that says, if one does not know one's history, they might repeat it, or something to that effect. And actually, when you, just as the Imam said previously, what happened, the earth was occupied by people of color. In fact, whenever I teach African American history, I turn to Genesis chapter 1,
Come on.
verses 1 through 31 in the Bible.
Yes.
And I said, this large mass that God formed, I said, this large mass was called Africa. And that would just startle some people, especially when you had different nationalities in the room. And I said that large mass was Africa. And we, along the way, the 1%, which controls the 99%, decided that they would control the earth. And so by spreading that doctrine, the Roman Catholic, the church, and they just decided to go around the world and be in charge of 99%, and they represent only 1%. So their images and things that were put out influenced a lot of people. And so if you don't, like my students, I run into them from time to time in the shopping centers. And if I hear somebody say, Dr. Leo, I know it's one of my students. So finally get to where they are. They said, yes, Dr. Leo, I'm reading and I'm researching. That's before they say anything, because that was the gospel that I preached when I taught them. If you don't read and you don't research, you're lost. It's amazing how certain folk, for example, the electric light bulb, we brought that about. The trains, when the trains were first invented, they had to stop every few hours, maybe every few miles, and lubricate the wheels so the train could go. And then there was a man named Elijah McCoy who invented something called the lubricating cup. And so when other folks tried to imitate that, people would say, is this the real McCoy? Just to name two people, I could go on and just name the contributions we've made. I'd be on here all day. So
Yes, sir.
I think we all would if we were to just list them all out. I love what you said, and I heard of, is this the real McCoy? I didn't know what it was linked to. So thank you for educating me on that today, Dr. Pickett. Yeah. I'm definitely writing down my notes. I'd like to now ask Imam Dr. Salahuddin Muhammad if he can please answer the same question in terms of why is it important to know our history.
With the name of God, most gracious, most compassionate, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, it is so important for us to know our history. And it took a long time for me, and I say a long time, I actually knew it, I would say when I was about 13. But before that time, I was really dissatisfied. I was really unmoved by all that I heard in the schools and just felt like it was a time for a change. And so all we got was his story. We didn't have our own. And then I began to hear about our own story. And when you begin to hear about your own story, then you begin to feel good about yourself. You begin to feel good about yourself. You can have a healthy self-concept. You can be very positive. Whereas before that time, it was no real self-love because everything in the environment was actually making it seem as though we didn't really count. The only time we saw black people is the ones that they showed us in the movies with Tarzan. Tarzan, this one white man was ruling the whole continent. Everything bound down to him. That's what we saw. But that wasn't true. So when I embarked on this journey, it made me see that they told us lie after lie after lie after lie to keep us subjected, to keep us oppressed, to keep us not having love for self and kind. This is what they did. So African American history is something that we ought to know about so that we can feel good about ourselves. And it's not just about a good feeling, but it's about continuing in the freedom struggle, continuing in the freedom movement, because really and true, life is about struggle. That's what it's about. But the whole idea that you're struggling to come into what Allah or God has created us to be, free, independent thinkers, and not under the oppression of someone else, but being free movers and thinkers and shapers. And everything that was in the society what made us look like we didn't do anything. And now we come to find out that we almost did everything. In fact, when you start talking about different creations, you find out there's a black person there, a woman, a man, somebody black was there. Somebody that was an African American was there. They did it. That's why I'm so happy about the scientist. I can't think of her name now, but she's from North Carolina, and she was the one that was the lead scientist in the Moderna vaccine. See, they couldn't hide that. But anytime that they could hide from us, that a black person was the person who was responsible for some type of creation, some kind of invention, they tried to do that. But now, when we learn our history, then we know that it's not true. That we are beautiful people, and we have benefited the world, not just America, benefited the world by being here.
You know, that was so well said, and it made me think about what Chaplain Kendall was saying in terms of belonging to someone and having confidence and valuing yourself differently once you know that you are not just representing yourself, but you're representing so many other people, especially those before you. And I know, Queen Mother, I'm going to ask you the same question. I know you are always talking about the ancestors and linking the ancestors and making sure that we still have that connection so that we can have that pride and that self-esteem. If you could talk about that as well, you know, why is it important to call upon the ancestors? I want to ask you this specifically, Queen Mother. Why is it important to call upon the ancestors, and how can we be able to use the ancestors' spirit or energy to move forward with doing what God has called us to do?
I would just say, for all of us and beyond, to our divine family, we call on our ancestors who has helped to shape us. I noticed that our speakers, the Imam, started with Egypt. And my first journey to Mother Africa was to the Nile in Egypt, to Queen Hatshepsut in the Nile, to her tomb. and the great pharaoh. She had to rule as the black pharaoh because women was not accepted to rule in the Nile. So with the melanin in me, the black woman, the black queen who ruled as a man on the Nile in Egypt, amongst the Sphinx and Pyramid of Egypt. And coming from that energy, which I was told who I was, approaching and being a part of the motherland. And as I moved through the motherland, the ancestors would beckon for you. It is something spiritual. It is the soul energy and the culture of a people that sustains us. That is our spirit energy. And as I think of places that I have gone, and the seed of a father sustained children. And when you think of a place called Tanzania as a Fulbrighter, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere became my African Baba. I studied him. I studied the culture, the tradition, the ways of Mother Africa. And in starting there, he gave me the opportunity as a head of state to see all of the land of Tanzania. On a whisper jet, he gave me the whisper jet. It was landing and taking off. It waited for me just like a car would be parked to wait for me. That's what happened to me. He wanted me to see it. He wanted me to record it. He wanted me to be able to show how we in the United States of the transatlantic ocean of the slave trade children would understand. And so the barrage of Mother Africa for us was the words Kiswahili, the language, and we call it Kwanzaa, principles we celebrated coming from East Africa. Karenga is Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, middle name. We even borrow names from Mother Africa to reconnect. One of the concerns that I have for the young people, they must leave from here, has been the conversation as we getting ready for Black Wall Street Memorial in Tulsa, Oklahoma next week. That's where we all gathering at. And gathering there for the purpose of our young people who's being executed in front of us. Execute those that we know that are being executed and those that we will never know been executed in front of us. We must start to trail from the United Nations of the children going home, the youth going home and falling off the plane in a place of the gateway to the continent of Mother Africa is Goree Island. From the United Nations, the Ark of Return. So I cannot tell you the whole story, but that's where Queen Mother is at this moment in her life in history. Amadou Bamba, Tuba, the great holy city, the Black holy ones, Amadou Bamba. And that spirit energy are returning and coming out of Ramadan. How blessed we are. It's a preparation and a readiness even for this graduation today.
Yes.
Of serving all of us.
Yes.
It is a God divine spirit energy that is taking place today. Just look at us. The transformation that God, Allah, is shown us today. Just look at us, the Spirit of God communicating amongst us. The Most High has assembled us to be dedicated and continue to be renewed. This is a renewal for most of us today in this graduation. And so I say to us, we are one and the same bloodline, and no one could ever take that bloodline away from us, because that is the divine energy of life force itself that we must teach our young people who they really are.
Thank you so much for that. And Queen Mother, I mean, you touched on a multitude of very important points. But the one that I took away most recently, the one that I wrote down, is that we really do need to teach our the younger generations who they are, so they don't lose the culture and the connection. Because at our core, no matter what we do, no matter, it's so funny, the more that I think I've seen African Americans just, try to stray away from the African connection, the more connected they are. Even the dance, the rhythm, it's within us. I remember taking an African art class when I was in, freshman in college, and then, going to Senegal and seeing that art in person, seeing the museums in Dakar, the Ifan Museum in person. You realize that there's so many elements that are embedded within the African American culture that we think is just innately African American. And the fact of the matter is that there's a hyphen there for a reason, right? There's a hyphen there for a reason. We're still connected. So thank you so much for sharing that, Queen Mother. The question,
I just wanted to say one more thing.
Okay, very quickly, Queen Mother.
In Cairo.
Yes, please.
The peanut, Tuskegee.
Come on now.
Yes.
The peanut.
Yes.
The thousands of ways of using a peanut. A ground nut coming from the soil of Mother Africa. This is what we have developed through Carver, our scientists. Little George Washington Carver. What's in your hand? A peanut. A ground nut from Mother Africa. Throughout centuries in the soil of Mother Africa is a ground nut.
Love that.
So that is the history that has been brought to us or carried with us where we are in a strange land. In a strange land. But now it's time for us to return our young people to the history, the healing modality, the transformation, the DNA, the culture, the language, and let them find their place as they hold on to this place.
Yes.
This is a golden opportunity through the United Nations for us to continue the arc of return of the transatlantic ocean of the slave trade.
Amen.
Let's begin.
Blessings as always, Queen Mother. Thank you for sharing that. And I see that there are people commenting in the comments and sharing their thoughts as to what we're talking about. And I love that, the importance of the peanut and realizing the symbolism behind the peanut, not just what Carver did in terms of finding out the different ways and patenting all of those different ways in which we could use peanuts, peanut butter, and all of the things that we use today, but recognizing that that had a direct connection back to the motherland, to the continent.
A scientist.
A scientist.
I
love that. Yes. Thank you so much, Queen Mother. I wanted to now ask you all if you could just share with me either one African American or one leader of the diaspora that you truly admire. So please enlighten us in terms of sharing with us someone who is past or present, one person that you admire, and if you could just share why. And I'm going to start with Imam Dr. Muhammad. If you can share with us one person you deeply admire within the African, with who is an African American or in the African diaspora, and why.
Okay, so since you say I can only say one.
Tough.
There are many, but
Yeah.
since you said I can only say one, then I will just have to narrow it down to Imam Waruddin Muhammad, who was my mentor, my leader in the Islamic movement. He is the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he was the one who brought us out of a mindset of not really embracing true al-Islam to embracing true al-Islam that breaks down all barriers of race. All people can come into Islam. It's not for any particular race or any particular ethnicity. So he did that. And not only did he do that, but he really came and he really got us thinking on our own feet, our own 2 feet, where we have become independent thinkers. And so we are not looking to the East. We're not looking to the East. We're looking amongst ourselves for leadership. We're looking amongst ourselves for leadership because the leadership is not just in the East. We've been told that there will come a time when the sun will rise in the West and not in the East. Now, people look at that many different ways. I'm looking at it as being us as a people having so much benefit for society and for the world that those people over there will have to look to us for leadership. I believe that. I feel that within every fiber of my being. And I have to say that Imam Waruddin Muhammad put me on that path. Now, when I mention him, since you said I'm going to say one person, he is standing on the shoulders of a whole lot of people, not just his father, Malcolm, Noble Drew Ali, Marcus, all of them. He's standing on their shoulders because he came and he took what they said and showed us that it was all a part of the freedom struggle, the freedom movement for us to be free. And he did that for me. Open my mind, open my heart where I could embrace humanity, not just Black folk, humanity. And so that helped me out so much. So I owe that to him. And I appreciate him for doing that for me. And I believe that he has blessed me and he has blessed my family among thousands of people to be free thinkers in our religion and not accepting for anybody to come and try to lead us and think that we can't do something for ourselves.
I like that a lot. And, you know, when you were talking, Imam Dr. Muhammad, and you were speaking about, for example, embracing humanity and not just embracing Black folks, but realizing that we all have a common core. Think about what was shared earlier, Imam Dr. Abdul Rashid, when you were talking about Pangea, right? Yes. We were all one at one point, and we can see the DNA, the linkage to Mother Africa in everyone, you know? And so it reminded me very quickly of the autobiography of Malcolm X when he finally got to make his pilgrimage to Mecca, and he saw that there were Muslims of all different nationalities, of all different complexions and eye colors and hair textures, and he realized that it was really about the universal. And that's when his eyes really start to open up. And a lot of people, they say that, you know, as they start to get older, right before they were assassinated, both Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. were finding a middle ground. They were really finding synchronicity in terms of their opinions and their beliefs. And so it's really beautiful to see, because oftentimes people would pit them against each other. But I just wanted to share that as part of the Afro-American Actionnaire history, the fact that we had two leaders who were able to see that, you know what, we are all connected in some way, shape, or form, and we have to embrace that and embrace that beautifully. So thank you so much for sharing that, Imam Dr. Muhammad. I'd like to ask you, actually, since I already mentioned you, Imam Dr. Abdul Rashid, would you be so kind as to share with me one individual who's also impacted you within the diaspora or within the country itself?
Yes, thank you so much. And having said that, I want to mention Katherine Johnson. You know, Katherine Johnson, who I personally had never heard of before the film Hidden Figures came out just a few years ago. She was a phenomenal genius of a mathematician and scientist whose work was at the very foundation of the United States and therefore the world's space program. Just about 6 months ago, the United States landed a craft on Mars, and the craft was sending back all of these pictures. Everyone was very excited. When I saw them, I thought of Katherine Johnson, because when I was a boy growing up, I was enamored with the United States space program. And it wasn't until just a few years ago that I realized that Katherine Johnson and 2 other Black women were integral to the creation of the United States space program, and their work pushed the United States out ahead of the rest of the world. Yet and still, when they first started working at NASA, there wasn't even a bathroom for them to use in the building where they did all of this phenomenal work.
All right. Well, with that being said, everyone, can we please just give our amazing panelists a round of applause? Thank you so much for your knowledge. If you saw me looking down, I promise I wasn't texting. I was writing down notes because this was great information.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. So now let's get started with our outstanding global workers. First off, we have our helping with administrative work for GODSU, our Dean, His Excellency, Dr. Willis Eubanks Chaplain, who is the CEO of Take Action Now, IT, Inc., doing business as TANIT. And he's also a GODSU Dean of Cybersecurity and Curriculum, and is the GODSU Board Advisor as well. Also helping with administrative work for GODSU, Assistant Dean Dr. Daniel Porte, MBA HCS, CPC, CPRW, MPM, HRPM, SHRPM Chaplain, who's a GODSU board member and GODSU Assistant Dean of online courses, and CEO of Professional Management Enterprises, Inc. And we have beside me our paralegal and also helping with administrative work as well for GODSU, Director, Her Excellency Cairo D.R. Eubanks, UNCSR CLC CEC Chaplain, who's also the CEO, Cairo Speaks, Cairo Writes, and is the GODSU Director of Administration and board member, board advisor, and co-director of the Junior Ambassador Program.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's an honor to be here. So a little bit about Cairo Speaks, Cairo Writes. We are all about being able to empower people to use their voice, to be able to strengthen their confidence to tell their stories, as well as we do that through leadership development coaching, as well as public speaking workshops. And then on the other side of Cairo Writes, we're so blessed to be a strategic partner with GODSU in terms of assisting with the biography writing, making sure that the Empower You magazine is looking its absolute best, and just making sure that, for example, you're able to communicate and express yourself on paper the way that you would want to. So one of the programs that we have here within Cairo Speaks, Cairo Writes is Bringing the World to Florida, which is also part of the GODSU Junior Ambassador Program. What is Bringing the World to Florida? Bringing the World to Florida is an international virtual student exchange program that was created to, and designed for students here in the state of Florida, and to connect them with the larger world. So we have connections and organizations in South India, as well as in India, the country itself. South Africa, and also in Jamaica. And so if you want to learn more about the course that we have, which is an advocacy leadership course, we also have, it's self-paced as well as a live workshop component. You can definitely go on bringingtheglobe.com, bringingtheglobe.com. So Bringing the World to Florida is the first course of Bringing the World, or Bringing the Globe. And we're just really excited to have GODSU, the Junior Ambassador Program in particular, be a part of this movement and this movement. And then the last thing that I wanted to share is that how GODSU has changed my life. I mean, where do I start? Honestly, where do I start? People look at me. I've had officials and advisors, at the United Nations pulling me aside saying, how do I get my kids to be like you, right? And the answer is you give them opportunities. You give them a platform. You give them a space to be able to actually share their voice, share their perspective, and to also grow. And GODSU was that place for me. GODSU has always been that learning development hub for so many people, but especially within myself. I've been able to grow, not just my connections, but also my confidence, my development. All of what makes me is because of GODSU. So without you and me, I guess there's no GODSU. I'm really grateful that there are people just like all of us who are on this line listening in, because we make up the global village and community that is GODSU. So without further ado, I'm just going to turn it right over to His Excellency Dakar.
Also, we have helping with administrative work for GODSU, our Assistant Dean Apostle, Dr. Adrian Jackson, Chaplain, and she's the president and owner of Global Expert Solutions, LLC. And she's also on the God Success Teach and Pray as a co-host. She's also a GODSU board member and Assistant Dean of Administration. She's the Senior Administrator to the Office of the Chancellor.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so delighted here to speak to each and every one of you, and I am just so blessed and honored to be a part of Global Obadiah Seminary and University. But I want to share a little bit with you what I do here at Global Expert Solutions, LLC, and what we want to do and offer entrepreneurs, especially within the African American community, the communities of color. We want to help leaders, business leaders, with education and training and strategies to help you and your organizations to improve your leadership skill set and competency. And we offer strategic consulting services for organizational culture, public relations, leadership, management, operations, human resources, and any other additional services that you need. And I especially want everyone to be encouraged. We may be in a post-pandemic situation, but this is not the end, but just the beginning. So I would like to help you to move forward as a future business leader to impact those specific areas that you are targeting. So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a blessing to you as a leader and your business. Now, let me just talk a little bit about the impact of Global Obadiah Seminary and University. Every time I hear that word, I have joy in my heart. I have joy in my spirit, and I am just so blessed and satisfied and content with the opportunity that Abba Father has given me to be a part of this prestigious institution. Since my inception and connection with the school from 2020 to current, I have just grown by leaps and bounds. And as Her Excellency Cairo Eubanks mentioned how it has blessed her, listen, you have a great opportunity to be a part of the school. We have excellent chaplaincy programs. We have an excellent Bible Institute. We are adding over 3,000 courses, instructions for you to come on board and learn. Listen, you don't want to miss an opportunity. This school is about encouraging and uplifting and helping business leaders and entrepreneurs to grow in leadership and skill set and competency and to grow spiritually. So we here at Global Obadiah Seminary and University, we want to see you to become part of the team. We are a team. There's no I and me, but we. So give us an opportunity to help you. If you're contacted by someone that is introducing you concerning Global Obadiah Seminary University, you may check us out at www.godsu.org. God bless you and shalom. Thank you. And you may reach me For Global Expert Solutions, my contact information is my local number is area code 657-358-0297. My toll-free number is 877-658-0377. And both numbers, you may reach me by dialing extension 1000. And my email address is aej, the word success, 777 at outlook.com. And my website is upcoming. Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Dean, Dr. Adrian. Appreciate you. And we also have helping with administrative work for GODSU, Assistant Dean Designate Courtney Lodge, MBA, who is a co-founder, CEO, and a master coach at Shore Profits Academy and Shore Profits Coach, Assistant Dean of GODSU Credit Union, and NFFI JA GODSU Board Advisor. Also with administrative work for GODSU, Her Excellency Dr. Arlene Span, Chaplain, who is the founder of Arlene Sweats and is a GODSU Board Advisor for as well for GODSU. She is also NFFI Jamaica board member as well. And we have our sponsor for GODSU, Miss Nikita Thorpe, who is the CEO of London Cosmetic Services, LLC, and is a professional makeup artist as well.
Nice to meet everyone. I am Nikita Thorpe, the owner of London Cosmetics, a professional makeup artist, as well as I do have a makeup line which carries lots of eyeshadows, palettes, and other assortments of products for everyone. A little bit about the business, got into doing makeup, just a way of showing or enhancing someone's beauty, bringing out their inner them, showing them that it's okay to love who you are, but you want to spruce it up a little bit just to bring that confidence out. With GODSU, it really brought me into a different opportunity with new people with different visions that can not only they're great leaders and great people to give advice, and with the connections and just being around everyone that I've met so far, it's nothing but greatness that's been happening. And I really appreciate that. I think everybody really knows about makeup. Not everybody, but we all know that it's just an enhancement. Is not something to really cover up. So there's not really much. But if you are interested in getting makeup done professionally for anything, any upcoming events, or even learning, because I do teach as well. You can always contact me by telephone number is 561-503-3332. I do provide an email address as well, which is London Cosmetics with a Z at the end, @gmail.com. And if you do have social media, you can always check us out at London Cosmetics with a _ on Instagram and on Facebook as well. I know I'm getting a little speed just to get it out there, is because I do have an appointment coming up in the next 20 minutes. And I just wanted to come on and just really introduce myself and the business and just say hello to everyone. And I'm looking forward to meeting everyone one day soon. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity that you guys have presented.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, one moment. Her Excellency.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Have a wonderful appointment. And as I see the card, Dr. Diane asked that I just come on for 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just make this.
Your face look amazing, by the way.
I wonder who taught me. So Nikita is the one who gave us a tutorial this week. And I'm telling you, it legit changed my life. I'm looking at the camera saying, is this filtered?
Nope.
There's no filter. It's just me.
Awesome.
Thank you. But I did want to just take a moment to say that I'm always thinking about the next project or thinking about my mission for GODSU. And I forgot that I have a very special date coming up in the next 2 weeks. And that is I'm getting ready for Miss Florida. So I'm Miss Broward County now for Miss America. Thank you. And I'm getting ready for Miss Florida. I already had my send-off party, which was phenomenal. And my makeup was done, of course, by London Cosmetics, which was fantastic. And I just have to say that this whole journey, being a part of the Miss America organization, it really showed me the sort of platform that I could be able to have locally in our communities to really make an impact and to be that servant leader, but especially in a different realm. As you know, I've done a lot of work professionally or academically, traveling the world, going over 26 countries and getting to learn firsthand from people. But really, this platform has shown me that there are so many young girls in our community and in the state of Florida who really do need to see someone like me, to have a role model like me. And so I realized that this is my mission, this is my purpose, and it would mean the world to me if you all, everyone on the line, would consider being able to be a part of my journey, sponsor or support my journey as I get ready for Miss Florida. So I'll be in Lakeland June 25th, and I'll be competing on that day to be Miss Florida for this only opportunity. And I want to be able to use my time wisely. So all of the things that I've been, all of the money that I've gotten so far, I've been able to use towards my wardrobe or towards my makeup, because we know it's not cheap. All right, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. But that being said, if anyone would like to actually donate to my journey, you can cash at me at $ Cairo Speaks. So CAIRO Speaks with an S. You can also go on, and I think I can share this as well, payrequest.me/Cairo, payrequest.me/Cairo. If you do want to support, or if you know someone who wants to see the first state title holder in the history of Miss America have locks, because I will be setting that precedent as well as many other precedents. I really want your support to make me get to that place. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it right back to our regular scheduled programming, but I just wanted to say that it's coming up and I can't believe that it's happening. We've been wanting this for over a year, and because of the pandemic, it really delayed everything, but I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I was given this extra year to get to make even more of a difference in our community and to showcase why I need to be Miss Florida 2021. All right, back to you.
And we have Dr. Antoinette Toni Mayers-Winfield, who's a doctor of chiropractor at Goldson Spine Rehabilitation Center and is a GODSU Designate Chaplain.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Dakar. So I have been a chiropractor in the South Florida area for the past 3 years. I'm an independent contractor. Right now I'm working with Goldson Spine Chiropractic and Rehabilitation Center in Pembroke Pines. Goldson Spine has been in the South Florida area for 25 years. We have 4 locations: North Lauderdale, Aventura, Plantation, and Pembroke Pines. As a chiropractor, the GODSU platform helps to get the word out about chiropractic. It's not just healthcare that you use when you've been in a car accident or some type of injury, but it is a natural form of healthcare to maintain your body's alignment, musculoskeletal system, and just makes you feel better, feel taller, helps your body to move, to heal faster. Because aches and pains are just the tip of the iceberg of things that life can throw at us health-wise. Chiropractic is, I like to say, the ground floor of wellness, of healthcare. Pills don't push bones back in place. And just like you take your car in for an alignment, this vehicle, God has only given us one of, and we want to maintain it. We acquire a lot of miles doing the things on a daily basis that must be done. And we don't really take into effect how much those things can wear on us, not just mentally not just spiritually, but also physically. Oftentimes, we don't realize what our daily activities have done to us until we have pain. As a chiropractor, I would like to use this platform with GODSU as my networking partners to get the word out about natural health care and how chiropractic could be a means to that, not just when you're in pain, but to prevent pain, to help you sit taller, to help your hips move when you're dancing, to just make you feel your best. So right now, like I said, I'm with Goldson Spine. I'm at the Pembroke Pines office, and the address is 10796 Pines Boulevard, Suite 101, Pembroke Pines, Florida. I'm also an independent contractor. So my personal cell is 601-278-7218.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. And we have also being a sponsor for GODSU, Miss Melina Vila, who is a Zumba instructor. We have the remainder helping with public relations for GODSU, Dr. Kelley Perry Chaplain, who's the CEO of Kelley Perry Enterprises. We have Dr. Rachel Turgeman, who is the CEO of On Point with Rachel Turgeman. And we have our Dean, Imam Dr. Salahuddin Muhammad Chaplain, who is the GODSU Dean of Muslim Studies, and he's also the founder of Muhammad's Marriage and Relationship Services.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. So happy to be back. So happy to be here with you all again. And hopefully we can keep this up. But I'm so thankful to be a part of this. We find that, especially during this pandemic, a lot of families have had serious problems because everybody was on top of each other because they were all together and not going out to work, everything happened in the home. So it compounded more problems, and people have serious problems in their marriages. And so my wife and I, we do a lot of counseling, a lot of coaching. And so we decided to actually look at ourselves as a service. And that's where Mars came in. Now, so I'm the founder of Mars, not the planet, but the program. And that it represents, it has two M's, and that's Muhammad's Marriage and Relationship Services. So we are able to speak to people for premarital counseling, marital counseling, and even those people who are thinking about getting into a relationship. And it's been very helpful to a lot of people who never had this before, where we're able to get into certain things with them so that they'll be clear on what it is that they're getting into. Because even after you get married, after going through so many sessions, there's still the unknown there. But at least you go through these sessions and you get some information that you may not have had before. So I'm happy to be of service to people who are interested in that, because I believe that healthy marriages are very important. And so I'm very much involved with that. And I want to just say this about GODSU. GODSU is really a family. It's a family. It's a village. It's all of us. And I'm so happy to be a part of it, because GODSU also have given me a platform where I can be myself and feel empowered, and also helping to empower people, because GODSU, when they see you as being a worker, they don't leave you out there. They pull you in. They pull you in. And so I am a dean. I'm on the board. I teach, all of these things for GODSU, because I see what GODSU can become, what it is and what it can become if we all chip in and do our parts. It will be an institution, a seminary, a university, second to none. But it all depends on us. And so I'm very happy that that's the driving force behind it all is our wonderful chancellor. So I'm thankful to be a part of GODSU, a part of the team. And I hope and pray that those of you who are just being invited to this come on board, because it's a beautiful thing to be a part of something that's actually in the initial stages. You know, it's been a few years, but I'm still in the initial stages where it hasn't blown up yet, but it's happening. And I like to be a part of that and hope that you become a part of that too. If you'd like to be in touch with me, you can get me by going on my website, imamsalahuddin.com, which hopefully will change to Mars, but that's what it is right now. Or you can call me at 914-475-2605. That's 914-475-2605. If you indeed would like to speak to someone who really knows what they're doing as it relates to relationships and family and all that kind of stuff. I've been married 36 years, still in love with my wife. She's still in love with me, and we are moving ahead and we're continuing to grow. So I'm thankful to be a part of GODSU. I'm thankful for you, Dakar, and Adrian. I'm thankful for you too. You're doing such a wonderful job. So thank you so much. May God continue to bless all of us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And we also have our Lakeisha Richards Chaplain, who is the CEO of L.J. Richards LLC.
Good evening, everyone. So good to be here. I am honored just to be on this platform. I want to give reference to Her Excellency Dr. Diane and His Excellency Dakar, and just to the GODSU family. Again, my name is Lakeisha J. Richards. I am the CEO and founder of L.J. Richards LLC, and I am a life coach, a speaker. I am a chaplain, which I am very excited about. I help to empower, equip, and educate women who are hurting from life issues and who are stuck, go from the past to going into their God-given purpose by the power of forgiveness. So I love to serve. I love to serve. And I'm so thankful for this platform, because all of us have been placed on this earth to serve in some type of capacity. And if you want to enhance this, GODSU is definitely where you want to be. If you want to get in contact with me, you can definitely go to my website, www.ljrichards.com. I can also be found on Facebook at Lakeisha J. Richards. I am also on Instagram, and you can contact me by phone, 800-219-0922. We would love to have you. There are all types of people here in GODSU family, and age does not matter. You will find your place here at GODSU. So I'm just so happy to be a part, and I look forward to everything that God has for me in GODSU. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And we have with us our Miss Eva J. Pierce Brown, chaplain, who's the former president of the Misters, Wives, and Widows of Fredericksburg and Vicinity, currently serving as chaplain.
Good evening, everyone. It is so great to be here. First, giving honor to God and to all the leaders and administrators of GODSU. I am elated to be here. I'm elated to be a neophyte who's just joined the group and a team player. I thank God for allowing me to work with GODSU leaders. But one of the things that I've been excited about is that currently, even though I'm retired, I just think God created retirement, but however, He don't want you to rest in it. He wants you to just pick up the mantle and do something extra. And so GODSU has afforded me that opportunity. I also teach women here in the Fredericksburg area, and I'm also with the Discovery Path. I teach leadership at my church. I'm also a member of the International Ministers' Wives and Widows. I'm a part of their IT team, and I work as one of the webmasters. So one of the things that I just like to say, I'm just so glad to be with you. Also, I have to say that what I'm really excited about with GODSU, it challenged me. It challenged me not to be complacent. It's challenged me to have greater excellence. It has challenged me to pick up the mantle and run with it, because we have to run and see where the race is going to carry us to. So right now, I just like to say I thank God for this opportunity, and I thank God for our leader, Chancellor, and I also am excited to be on the Chaplain's committee and team. I'm further as a part of as a neophyte with the public relations. So, I mean, where do you go and you're a neophyte and people entrust such great things for you? So I just want to say I love each and every one of you, but mainly if you want to reach me, I am Chaplain Eva J. Brown. You can reach me at Eva J. Brown 1954 at gmail.com, or you may call me at 540-287-0865. God bless you.
Yes, thank you. God bless you as well. And we have our Dean, Reverend Dr. Anne-Marie Wilkinson Chaplain, and she is the CEO of Shop Fashion Focus, and you see her on the God Success Teach and Pray. And we have our Miss Sharon Wright, who is the CEO of Bella Sapphire Self and Skincare as well. That's what she does, self and skincare. And she's also a GODSU sponsor. And we have our Assistant Dean, Bishop Dr. Reginald Benjamin Chaplain, who is the pastor, CEO, and Bishop of Lighthouse Christian Fellowship Center, and is a God Success Teach and Pray co-host. And he also helps at GODSU as Assistant Dean of Chaplaincy. We have our Assistant Dean, Reverend Dr. Sandra Norris Deckert, Chaplain. She is the First Lady and co-pastor of Greenhouse International Church. She's also the owner and physician, health and clinic and spa. And she's also serving at GODSU as Assistant Dean of Chaplaincy Program. And she's also a board member for GODSU. We have our Assistant Dean, Reverend Dr. Lalithia Davis Chaplain, who is the CEO and founder of Dior to Live in Overflow. And she's also a God Success Teach and Pray co-host. And she's also a GODSU board advisor, and she's also our Assistant Dean of Chaplaincy.
Oh, what a mighty God we serve. It is an honor to be before you today. I am excited today as I was yesterday, and looking forward to excitement on tomorrow too, because every day that God allows us to see a new day, it is a day of blessings and excitement. It is a gift, and I don't take it for granted. I just want you to know that I am Reverend Dr. Lolithia Berard Davis Chaplain, and I am the CEO and founder of Dior, which is the Hebrew word for freedom and liberty. Dior, to live in the overflow of the many blessings of God and his promises. There are over 5,000 promises in the word of God, and he wants us to be free to live in them in the overflow. And so my the ministry that God has bestowed upon me is the ministry of intercessory prayer, where I take upon the mission of praying for those who find themselves stuck in a path of their past, or things that keep them from moving forward in the things of God and moving forward into reaching their full potential, unleashing those things that will cause them to blossom into what God would truly have them to be. And then I offer in those services to lead prayer shawls and products such as blessed anointed oils with unique oil bottles and other Christian products. And I also am a financial solution specialist, where I help many people to be able to find their dream of no more talking about it, but be about it, and getting into their first home, or whether it be building up revenue for business adventures. I say to people, don't be ashamed of your credit scores, because life does happen. Be ashamed if you don't do anything about it. So I'm here and I represent all of the states. And so if you would like to reach me, I can be reached at 346-224-0784. And my email address is free2live47@hotmail.com. Now, GODSU is a God sent. If you know anything about the supernatural things that you see that have happened in your life that you could never have imagined or thought about, because Ephesians 3:2 says, I can do abundantly above what you could ever think, oh my God, or imagine, according to the power that worketh in you. And God's you will help birth out, because you have something that's in you that needs to come out, be birthed out, and they will help you to birth out those gifts that God has already stirred up in you, and bring you to an elevation level that God will place you, oh my God, at a platform that you say, it was nobody but God. It was nobody but God. And I just thank God for GODSU, the university. As an alumni, I know that I'm not just a number, but I am counted in the family as one who can reach her full potential. And you know what? It's a choice. It's if you want it. It's like being fishermen of men. God said, go and be fishermen of men. And so they throw out the lifeline and they want to catch you. And if you bite, it's a good bite and you're a good catch. I just love it, because I have been doing nothing but finding myself, God speaking to me and telling me, Lolithia, this is your season. And I want to say to each and every one of you, this is your season. Grab it, walk into it, step into it. It is your season to blossom in what God has for you. Amen, amen, amen. Hallelujah, and glory to the Lamb of God. I'm so excited about the life I live.
Awesome.
It's in your hands.
Awesome. Thank you. And we're getting comments on how beautiful your jacket, your jewelry, and your shirt look. So,
oh, thank you.
Awesome. And we have our Miss Black Florida Talented Teen, who is the Miss Black USA title holder for the Sunshine State, Sudan A.L. Eubanks, who is the CEO of Sudan Dolls, Games, and Apps. She's also a co-host for our God Success Teach and Pray. And we have our Dr. Kevin J. Suber, Chaplain, who is the president, founder, and chief visionary officer of the Suber Group. And we have our chancellor. She helped with being the chancellor for the university. She's the Right Honorable Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, JD Chaplain, and she's also Miss Senior Florida USA and Miss Senior Jamaica Universe, Senior VP, Vice President of Invita Financial Network as well. And we have myself. I helped with doing administrative work as well. I am Director, His Excellency Dakar Eubanks, Chaplain. I'm the CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools, and I help guide you being a Director of Operations. And I'm also the co-director of the Junior Ambassador Program. And you'll see me every morning on their God Success Teach and Pray as well. So yes, so as far as Dakar Marketing Tools, we are an international graphic and printing company, and we help you with all of your marketing needs to help you and your company grow. You can see some of my clients are some of the outstanding workers. You can see their GODSU jackets, their virtual backgrounds, their pins, their rings. Those are all products that we can do, and we can help you as well. And in addition, we provide merchandise that is crucial to your business's success, such as our magazines. We have banners, digital business cards, flyers, and also printed business cards. And with our innovative tools, we can turn your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. During this time of constant Zoom meetings and webinars, we at Dakar Marketing Tools want to make sure you're prepared with our Zoom for Profits course. It's a digital course that you can register for online, and you have it on demand. Some of what we would cover is how to make money doing Zoom, Zoom basics, Zoom-based essentials, and turning your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. And we have the information on the screen, how you can register. And also, I want to extend a special appreciation to many of the GODSU leaders who have volunteered many hours. We especially thank those who have provided actual names, emails, phone numbers, and referrals. GODSU is grateful for all the opportunity to add workers of God to our database, as well as register for our educational programs. And I want to remind you all to be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And we do have some more messages that follow. Oh, and if you want to be featured as an outstanding worker every day by 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, we want you to submit your weekly report, and you can be featured as an outstanding worker as well. But thank you very much, and stay tuned as we have some messages that follow. Thank you.
Global Ovid Day Seminary and University GODSU is a 501c3 interfaith e-learning Global Florida Department of Education Commission of Independent Studies approved degree issuing religious institution of higher learning under Florida Statute 1005.061F in Miramar, Florida, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale suburbs. Our curricula include programs like our theology diploma, bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs, which are designed for students called to the ministries of teaching and preaching. Program enrollees include pastors, evangelists, missionaries, and laypersons. Our additional courses: Entrepreneurial Studies, premier self-development courses on wealth building. We also offer a mini course for youth, the Junior Ambassador Youth Public Speaking, to gain professional and personal skills. Chaplaincy Diploma, Love and Spiritual Interfaith and Christian programs. Chaplains are trained, certified leaders attached to either a religious and/or non-religious institution or organization. Cybersecurity IT courses. Our licensed instructor has a 95% pass rate compared to the 30% national average for CompTIA accredited courses, such as Security Plus and Network Plus. 40% of our alum who've gone through our prestigious GODSU honors programs have also previously matriculated through their earned doctorate programs. Our alum include physicians, ambassadors, statesmen and stateswomen, icons and billionaires, religious leaders, titans in business, global philanthropists such as Ambassador of Ghana to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Bafor A.J. Bewa, Ambassador of Nigeria to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Sylvanus Nusufor, billionaire builder and dean, His Excellency Dr. Michael V. Roberts, former Maritime Minister, Government of Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Leke Olawale. Our world-class and esteemed professors include Attorney Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, Ph.D., Chancellor, Physician Dr. Eric Bizetsky, Clinical Health and Nutrition and GODSU Medical Expert, Physician Her Excellency Rhoda Makinde, Ph.D., Chief Medical Doctor, GODSU, Medical Missions, Dean Michael V. Roberts, J.D., Ph.D., Dean of Entrepreneurship Studies, Dean Kyra Eubanks, Dean of Junior Ambassador, Professor Willis Eubanks, Ph.D., Dean of Cybersecurity Program, Professor Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, Professor Interfaith Program and Chaplaincy, Professor Reverend Dr. William Blake Theology Program Curriculum Development, Professor His Excellency Dakar